CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with the latest on the animal testing scandal at St. Joseph's Healthcare. Officials with the hospital now say they will stop research studies involving dogs immediately. Last week, a report published by the Investigative Journalism Bureau in partnership with the National Post alleged researchers were secretly testing and killing dogs and puppies for human cardiovascular studies. The report cited whistleblowers claiming the animals were subjected to painful and prolonged procedures. CTV News has made repeated requests for an interview with St. Joe's officials, but they have refused those requests, referring to a brief statement today which states the decision to end dog testing was only made after consulting with the provincial government. Now, this afternoon, Premier Doug Ford issued a statement on social media saying, "I was deeply disturbed by last week's reports of inhumane medical research taking place on dogs at St. Joseph's Healthcare London and immediately reached out to raise my concerns." The Premier says he's pleased St. Joe's has agreed to stop the research, and he says the government will always act to ensure any medical research is carried out in an ethical and humane manner. Thousands of Londoners were without power this weekend, with hydro officials blaming the intense temperatures. In fact, for the fifth time this summer, our region has been placed under a heat warning. With more on the escalating electricity demands, here's Rita Ismail.
This sound all too familiar today as the region deals with another heat wave. London Hydro says they had to navigate a heat-related power outage over the weekend that left thousands of customers without power for several hours.
The additional heat causes air conditioning load and other loads to go higher, and that definitely adds more current to the grid. That current stresses some of our connections, and yesterday one of those connections failed.
London Hydro has over 10,000 connections on the grid, and the constant heating and cooling resulted in equipment malfunction.
It was exacerbated by a problem at the same time at the Hydro 1 station that supplies London at Talbot. They had an issue at the same time. We haven't heard what the actual cause was, but it ended up tripping additional 4 feeders and prevented us from restoring power. So that was a complication that we don't normally see.
Back in June, London Hydro experienced the highest recorded peak demand in the last decade.
Part of that was due to all the energy conservation that's gone on, so people have done a great thing. But now there's diminishing returns, right? There's only so many light bulbs you can change. People have changed all their light bulbs. They've added insulation, so they've done that. So now we're seeing the load start to pick up again.
With the heat expected to persist throughout the week, Ontarians are being asked to take simple steps and reduce energy use.
If you can maybe block off the vents in the rooms you don't need, so you're not cooling a room you don't need to. Use things like drapes and blinds as much as possible, and then just the portable fans or ceiling fans use a lot less energy than an air conditioner.
In the meantime, London Hydro says they are handling the heat wave, and power to those customers impacted over the weekend has since been restored. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
And municipal officials have put an open-air fire ban in place for the City of London. That includes all bonfires, chimneys, fire tables, and fire pits. The ban does not include propane or natural gas barbecues or propane fire pits and pots. City staff say all active burn permits are suspended and new ones will not be issued while the ban is in effect. And at this point, there's no timeline for how long that will be. City Council will consider a bylaw to fine people who leave animals inside hot cars.
People understand that it's wrong to leave an animal in a hot car, and they do it, and they justify it. And there has to be repercussions.
If we are sending members of LPS or the animal control folks, that we are able to recoup those costs, but without some sort of bylaw, we are not able to charge a penalty.
So far this year, London police say they've been called to 60 vehicles with animals locked inside. Councillor Skylar Frank suggested a municipal bylaw would deter pet owners from endangering animals while recouping the cost of dispatching police and animal control officers. A draft bylaw could be considered by council before next summer.
Even though we do have provincial regulation with respect to that, there needs to be more teeth. Also, there were some good comments made here at committee about how long it takes a provincial representative to get here.
London police say one person is in critical condition after an early morning shooting in the city's East End. As Sean Irvin reports, several neighbors were woken up in the middle of the night by gunfire.
London police officers combed the scene of an early morning shooting on Fieldgate Circle just off Marconi Boulevard. What appears to be a bullet hole through the shattered glass of the front door is one area they'll look over. Officers began arriving here around 1:20 in the morning, only minutes after multiple neighbors were alerted and called 911. Some reported hearing up to 3 gunshots.
I thought it was like somebody knocking on the door, but then my husband wasn't asleep. He was downstairs, and then he came and was like, "Are you okay?" And then he's like, "Oh, I think it's a gunshot."
Another neighbor had a similar experience.
We hear 2 loud noises. We come upstairs thinking it was just a bang on the front door. We're not too certain, so we're kind of just hesitantly looking outside of the window. Shortly after, the cops show up.
Neighbors report a family with children lives inside the home. Many of those same neighbors also tell us they saw the adult male transported by ambulance. One neighbor told us that police have been seen at the house at least once before. Meanwhile, officers are searching for 2 suspects believed to be male. Police have released photos of a red Land Rover they say the suspects fled in. Investigators continue to appeal for any additional video footage the public can provide. In the interim, neighbors say they remain in shock as they send thoughts to the shooting victim and investigators as they continue to search for suspects. In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
A Windsor man convicted of producing child pornography was in a London courtroom today, this time related to an intimidation charge over comments he made to a Crown lawyer. With more, here's Nick Paparella.
In January of 2023, 44-year-old Jason Nasser of Windsor was on trial and eventually found guilty of harassment, extortion, and producing child pornography online through his channel, Creeper Hunter TV. He claimed the aim was to catch online predators, but the Crown argued that he was playing the part of a teenage girl for his own sexual gratification. During the trial, which was turbulent at times, there were loud and heated exchanges, and at one point, Nasser told the Crown, "I know you have a kid named blank." The Crown, who cannot be identified for the protection of his child, testified it was a cold stare, calculated. Online, I just didn't know what he was capable of. He continued, "I had to get out of the courtroom and take a number of deep breaths. It was the first time someone mentioned my kids." The judge at the time told Nasser to maintain his composure and not to make it personal. Nasser responded that he had a mental disorder and was later charged with intimidating a justice participant. He has pled not guilty. Later, during cross-examination from defense lawyer Ingrid Grant, it was suggested that Nasser overheard the name while the Crown spoke with court staff, but the Crown denied that happened. The Crown said he carried on with the case because I buried it. I didn't let myself think about it. I came to work and did my job. The defense didn't call any witnesses in this case. Both sides are expected to give closing submissions on Tuesday. Nick Paparella, CTV News.
Sarnia police say they're investigating, accusing a Toronto man of using a rented jet ski to illegally enter the U.S. As Jerry Dewan reports, it looks like he ditched the watercraft on the American shore and is now nowhere to be found.
A personal watercraft skips along the surface of the St. Clair River just south of Sarnia. It was near this location that a similar craft was discovered on the U.S. side of the river after it was used to cross the border.
A male rented a Sea-Doo from Sarnia Bay Marina, and then he left on the Sea-Doo. He was supposed to bring it back. We were contacted as the Sea-Doo hadn't been returned.
Police say a Toronto man identified as 40-year-old Romeo Badrami paid cash for a 1-hour rental from Gordon's Water Sports. That was about 6:45 Saturday evening. When the watercraft wasn't returned by 7:45, they contacted the man by phone. He apologized and said he was about 10 minutes away. Multiple follow-up calls were made, and then police were called just before 10. That's when the search for the man and the machine started on both sides of the border.
And eventually it ended up being located on the U.S. border side.
It was found not far from Stag Island, which sits in the middle of the St. Clair River on the Canadian side of the border. Inspector Vosberg says Sarnia police have been working in cooperation with a number of U.S. and Canadian agencies.
RCMP, the OPP, the CBSA, and then with the Coast Guard, as well as with the United States Coast Guard and United States police agencies on the other side. So we work hand in hand with them.
Taylor Gordon is president of Gordon's Water Sports. He declined doing media interviews but issued a statement saying strict protocols are followed, including verifying identification and getting waivers signed. They also have tracking systems on the watercraft. In his statement, Gordon says in this specific case, the tracking system on the rented PWC stopped transmitting during the rental period. The cause of this malfunction is still under investigation. Vosberg says the other concern is people putting themselves at risk making the crossing.
It's not just a small little river. There's lots of current, there's lots of undertow, and people that aren't maybe as experienced with watercraft, it's actually the safety is our concern.
Gordon told CTV News that the watercraft likely won't be returned anytime soon. Canadian Border Services told him a full investigation will likely take months and the craft will be held during that process. In Sarnia, Jerry DeWan, CTV News.
A strong turnout today in Sarnia for a special city council meeting. Members of the public were invited to share their thoughts on a proposed supportive housing project. As Brian Bicknell reports, the proceedings began civil but quickly deteriorated.
I would bet you dollars to donuts that if this project was going to be put in their neighborhood, they would be against it.
That's the voice of Sarnia City Councillor Bill Dennis, remotely attending a public input special council meeting. He's calling out speakers who don't live in the neighborhood where a supportive housing project is being proposed.
It's very hypocritical and it's not right.
The meeting takes a turn when former city councillor Nathan Colhoun shoots back at those opposing the development, including Dennis himself.
And to you, Bill, you don't live in this neighborhood either, so you can f*** off.
All right. Mr. Calhoun, that is unacceptable in this chamber.
But from the former councillor, no apologies.
Basically to shame anyone that is in that building trying to stop the city from building houses for people that need it. I think it's pathetic. It's gross.
Community housing nonprofit Indwell is proposing a building with 50 deeply affordable apartments with wraparound supports on this George Street property.
We have homelessness, chronic homelessness. We have encampments, and we need a solution, and we believe that you're the best to help us deal with that.
The project has divided the community. Supporter Jenny Das says her daughter was helped in a big way by Indwell in Hamilton when struggling with mental health.
Through Indwell, she was able to rebuild her life, complete her studies, and is now successfully working at a wonderful job.
Area residents have undertaken a campaign saying they've done their part, some pointing to an existing shelter nearby.
Because these are people who are trying to recover from drug addiction, they're trying to recover from mental health issues, they're trying to get their lives straight after being involved in incarceration, and sometimes trying doesn't work, so the behaviors still persist.
According to Mayor Mike Bradley, the city has not yet received a formal planning application for the Indwell project. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Provincial police say one man is dead after a house fire just south of Rodney this weekend. First responders say they were called to this home on Pioneer Line Friday night. And they say West Elgin and Dutton firefighters were called in to help extinguish the flames as well. The OPP Forensic Identification Unit, as well as the Provincial Fire Marshal, are now investigating what started the fire and how the man died. City Hall officials say there are limited options for replacing Thames Park Pool with a new multi-use rec centre in Old South. Council closed the outdoor pool 3 years ago and started planning for a replacement. 6 parks within a 4-kilometre radius meet the criteria for a new indoor pool, but only Basil Grover Park at Commissioners in Warncliffe is large enough for a new pool and community centre. Councillor Frank wants the location considered when the Park and Rec Master Plan is updated next spring.
I've already had feedback from some people that said it's still too far from Old South. There are traffic concerns with that busy intersection. So staff will just look at that location and see if it could be viable for a multi-use facility. Unfortunately, we are really limited because the city does not own a lot of land in the Old South area.
City officials are considering loosening the rules for overnight street parking, potentially in time for this winter.
Revisit the options of shortening and to include the consideration specific time, November 15th to March 31st.
Currently, overnight street parking is permitted from April 30th to November 1st. Councillors want to review those dates, though, and consider lifting the limit of 15 exemptions per vehicle. Staff will also examine parking on the driveway skirt between the sidewalk and the road on nights when snowfall is expected.
With multi-generational homes, smaller housing units, and parking densities removed, that this is an opportunity for people to be able to resolve some of the parking challenges, not face tickets during the winter months when there are restrictions.
London City staff say emergency rail crossing repairs were completed today sooner than expected. Crews had shut down Veterans Memorial Parkway this morning between Clark and Oxford. It was supposed to last until 3 p.m., but they say traffic was moving again before 11 a.m. No one from the city or CN Rail has commented on why the urgent repairs were necessary. Construction on the Adelaide Street underpass is now officially complete. City officials held a ceremony over the weekend celebrating the end of the project. With more on the finishing touches, here's Brent Lale.
As a train makes its way across the tracks, cars can freely move on the Adelaide Street underpass.
And you can hear, I don't know if that's a police car or a fire truck or a land ambulance, but you hear a siren behind me. This is exactly why this underpass is important. This is a critical pathway for emergency services to get to where they are, to where they need to be.
The City of London held a celebration to recognize its completion. The $88 million project came in about $30 million over their original estimate.
Everybody sees the finished product, but under the surface we had to redirect sewers. We actually have a pumping station because there's groundwater that we have to manage. This is a major corridor. We have 24,000 vehicles a day that travel on this road, and so it's not just for cars, it's for pedestrians and connection to the community, emergency services, transit. Everybody's benefiting from having this project done.
I moved in here about 7 or 8 years ago. Basically, the railway here, the CP Rail, pretty much ruled the whole neighbourhood on cross streets, not just on Adelaide, but on Maitland, on Waterloo Street, and every place else like that. And the underpass has just freed things up completely.
However, not every neighbour is thrilled.
In order to get construction yards to do this work, the city destroyed 12 units of housing for poor people. They destroyed 12 small businesses.
Gil Warren says this parking lot was once home to an excellent pizza place and housing. Now that the project is complete, Warren would like to see the city put the lots it purchased to good use.
What we want in the neighborhood is for the city to keep that land and use it for social housing and build a 3 or 4 story building there.
And while he expressed frustration, fellow neighbors are excited about being able to move freely.
We still see a little bit of through traffic from some of the construction downtown, but for the most part, it's improved quite dramatically.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
When we come back, if a tree falls in the woods, can a president impose a tariff? The latest on today's trade war developments on the other side of the break. Strength in consumer cyclical stocks helped Canada's main stock index finish slightly higher today. The TSX up 17 points. In New York, the Dow lost 201. The Nasdaq fell 65. The Canadian dollar dropped almost 1/5 of a cent today. On commodity markets, gold fell more than $86 an ounce, and oil gained 8 cents a barrel. The White House has announced steeper tariffs on softwood lumber imports, which could have a substantial impact on Canada's forestry sector. With more, here's Abigail Beeman.
We've sent our student workers home a month early for the summer. And we're going to, we quite honestly, we're going to try to keep our mill, which employs 25 people in Chilliwack, going.
Andy Riley says things are urgent for his business and the entire softwood lumber industry. The trade war and the new Department of Commerce decision to raise tariffs, which along with counter-dumping duties total just over 35%, adds up to the most challenging time he's seen in 40 years.
We have to put that duty onto our sale price. And what happens to our customers is sometimes their sales slow down and their customers will start substituting for composite products or other hardwoods or other softwoods, whatever. But we are in danger of pricing Western red cedar completely out of the market.
BC's Minister of Forests called the U.S. move absurd and reckless, while the federal Natural Resources Minister said the industry has for too long been subject to unfair trade actions and the tariffs hurt Canadians and Americans alike. The U.S. decision comes after the Prime Minister promised supports, including $700 million in loans and $500 million to support market diversification.
Canada does not dump lumber into the United States, and we will continue to make the case that these current and proposed duties are unjustified.
The industry largely welcomed Ottawa's move, but Andy Riley says his group is working on pitching some other ideas to the feds. They're looking for help to pay the difference in duties between their raw materials cost and the sale price, which is what's so crippling about the new tariffs. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Good evening. The heat continues across the region. Widespread heat warning in effect for your Tuesday. Thank you to Courtney for this photo of Ellie Maeve and Tulo if you are heading out for a walk. First thing in the morning, that will be the best time to be out. Warm and muggy to start, 22 to 24 degrees. The heat and humidity rising in the afternoon. It'll feel close to 40. Risk of showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. Welcomed rain. We need it. Stay with us. I'll have all your local forecast details coming up.
Welcome back on the desk now with Julie Atchison. And as we saw in Rita's story earlier tonight, of course, the big story is the heat. But it's not just the fact that it's hot, it's also being really dry.
Yeah, of course, the fire ban being issued in our area, and obviously the dry conditions are a big concern for many people. Summer heat warnings. So our first one was back in June, and we're now into our 5th heat warning of the season. Now, mentioning the dry conditions, average amount of rainfall that we get in August, 83 millimeters. So far this month, none. So yes, definitely looking forward to some rain, hoping that we get into some rainfall in advance of a cold front that'll start to approach tomorrow. 32, 18, taking a look at those numbers, 26 and 14 is where we should be for this time of year. Forest fire smoke has also been a big issue in the prairies, leading to poor air quality. Some of that forest fire smoke filtering down towards southern Ontario. As we head into the day tomorrow, another hot and sticky day. We're not seeing much relief at night. Temperatures dipping down anywhere between 20 and 23 degrees. Long Point, the warmer spot at 24. So warm and muggy overnight. We do have this frontal boundary that I mentioned that will start to approach, and that could pick up some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Will add a little bit of instability to the atmosphere as we head into the afternoon. So we did see some rainfall in northern Ontario today. Most of that rain not materializing in southern Ontario. So rain and thunderstorms expected as we head into the afternoon. Unfortunately, not everyone will be picking up the rain. As you can see, there'll be parts of Grey and Bruce County that don't see anything out of this first little push. And then the front will start to come in. This is as we head into Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Probability of showers will ramp up, especially through northern Huron, Perth, and Grey and Bruce. Probability about a 60% chance for you. And then as we head into the day, Wednesday, things return to normal, back into a mix of sun and cloud. So Wednesday looks good in terms of weather to be outdoors, although at this point we're just looking for rainfall. So the chance for showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. The winds out of the southwest. It'll feel like 40. The cold front will make the move across the area, and the temperature will dip down to 29. So Wednesday will still be humid, but the heat warning will likely drop off. As we head into Thursday, still hot at 28 degrees, although it won't feel like 40, but it'll still feel like the mid-30s. We're in for some heat continuing. The humidity will abate just a bit as we head into Wednesday. Friday, sunshine. Saturday, sunshine. Chance for thunderstorms on Sunday, but the main opportunity for rain will come as we head into tomorrow afternoon and Wednesday. Other than that, it'll be limited through the weekend. As we head through the next 7 days in Midwestern Ontario, pretty much the same pattern. Daytime high 29, and then the risk for night rain. Showers expected as we head into Wednesday, and then lots of sunshine into the weekend. Daytime highs anywhere from 27 to 30. Possibility of a thunderstorm on Sunday afternoon popping up, although just a 30% chance. So in terms of the forecast, looking for some rain as we head into tomorrow afternoon. Isolated thunderstorms expected in parts of the region, and then the chance for rain as we head into Tuesday night, Wednesday morning with the passage of a cold front.
Thank you, Julie. Air Canada flight attendants protested today in several major cities in the midst of contract negotiations. A union spokesperson says flight attendants were standing in silence at airports in Toronto, Montreal, Calgary and Vancouver, a show of support for union leaders who are at the bargaining table this week. More than 10,000 flight attendants could go on strike as early as Saturday if there's no new deal. Union leaders say they're focused on wages, work rules and unpaid hours. Welcome back. Finally tonight, researchers in Eastern Canada studying the mud at the bottom of the sea. Sarah Plowman has more on the discoveries they're making.
A few hours northeast of Quebec City is the Saguenay Fjord. Carved from glacier forces, it snakes inland from the St. Lawrence. Scientists from the UK and the Université Laval are here to study what lies beneath the mud at the bottom.
The mud at the bottom of the seafloor is also really, really rich in organic carbon and is storing this carbon, but we know much less about it because it's so far down, it's so deep, and it's really hard to study.
And so they dig up samples 200 meters below.
It's this really important carbon store, which obviously is really important to understand in understanding how climate change is progressing and things we can do to mitigate climate change.
Each scoop full of animals like tube worms and brittle stars. In a lab, they'll study how they move in the mud, actively churning the sediment and with it, the carbon.
If you think about the seafloor, most people think that there's nothing there. But these animals are so important for moving the sediment, building ecosystems and maintaining the ecosystem above it.
This study is part of the Convex Seascape Survey, a 5-year global project focused on how, where, and when the ocean's continental shelves and muddy seafloor store carbon.
And what we're investigating is what role do the tiny little animals that live on the seafloor play in regulating those huge processes.
And by understanding how the system works, we can then understand how the system no longer works if it is perturbed, for example, by human activities or by climate change.
Scientists came to this fjord partly due to its biodiversity. From the water, it feels large, but on a global map, it's a mere dot.
But what's really magical about the place is that it acts as a laboratory for much bigger scale systems.
Their research now moves from this fjord to the lab, where they'll study the samples they gathered right here. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Petite Saguenay, Quebec.
And that's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.